break it free from the mainstream, the studio machine. I want it my way. Indie Film Nation, you know it's gotta be Indie Film Nation.
Hi, it's Mike Anthony Smith here on the streets of Park City, Utah, and I'm joined with Sue Lawson. We've been checking out the happenings around Park City, and so what's your thoughts so far, Sue?
Hey, this is an exciting festival, I think. The documentaries are quite exciting. I'm not seeing as many people out on the street yet, but it's early. I mean, this is only Saturday. It's really just getting started now.
And the great thing about this year's Sundance Film Festival is that people at home can now actually rent a couple of the films on YouTube, which is a really exciting announcement. I think it's $3.99 to rent the film, and you get 24 hours to watch it. So that's a really interesting development. Once again, it's a further expansion on the Sundance, taking it out of Park City and around the US. But so, what else have we caught up with here at Park City?
We've been trying to get as many people that we can. I think so far, and that could change in the next 5 minutes. But one of my favorites is the sit down that we did with Morgan Spurlock. He is one of the judges this year for the documentary category. And to me, it's just fascinating to see how they think, what they're looking for, and to get his perspective on how documentaries have changed over the past 4 or 5 years. Hi, Sue Lawson here for Indie Film Nation. Joining me today, Morgan Spurlock, the venerable Morgan Spurlock. This year, you are actually a judge here at Sundance, correct?
Yes, it's fantastic. I actually get to come here and be forced to watch movies. It's the best thing that could ever happen in your life.
Now, I'm assuming that you're judging for the documentary category?
I am, yeah.
So what are the trends that you're seeing with documentaries these days as opposed to 3, 4, 5 years ago?
I mean, I think it's what's interesting is you're seeing a lot of people who, films that are omniscient storytelling, kind of omniscient point of view films are starting to do well. You look how well Anvil did, which was this great character piece, just this character study of these two guys, as well as September issue. It's interesting to see kind of the films that are continuing to bubble up. There's ones that are first-person narrative. Michael Moore's film did very well last year, but then you have a movie like Valentino that's getting a ton of attention. It's great. You're seeing what I love is that you're seeing that it's not just about a name or a face or a personality. With a film like an Anvil that does well.
Are there certain things that you look for as a judge, or what really stands out in your mind when you're looking at the competition this year?
Well, I mean, for me, there's so many great movies. There's 16 films made by amazing filmmakers that are in there. Some first time, some who have won Academy Awards. It's an incredible group of filmmakers. And for me, it's I just look for films that are engaging, that just keep my attention, that just really take me on an emotional ride. For me, the films that really make me feel something are the ones that I think really talk to me.
Not here that you're seeing at Sundance, but just in general, what are the mistakes the documentary filmmakers have a tendency of making that maybe keep them from getting the recognition or the viewing audience that they should have?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not so much, there's different mistakes that filmmakers make. And for me, the one of the first ones is, when you're a young filmmaker, you think you need so much money to make a project, and I think you have to really invest yourself, and you have to want to tell this story more than anything else. And literally, we live in the day and age where all you need is a camera and a computer and a good idea, and you can make a movie and tell a story. So I think that too many filmmakers put themselves in this barrier, wrap themselves in this barrier of I have to have this much money to make this movie. And once you have the films made and once you start getting it out there, I find a lot of filmmakers start battling against trying to get distribution. There's no question that the amount that filmmakers get paid has changed, but you shouldn't let that be something that you're fighting against about getting a movie out there. The greatest thing you can do is get your movie seen. That's why you made it. And if you hold out for a big payday and it sits on a shelf, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot.
These days, YouTube, this year in particular, has gone ahead and partnered with Sundance when it comes to going ahead and spotlighting some of the films, a couple from last year, and I think about 3 of them are current films that are in the Sundance roster.
Yeah.
How do you think that's going to impact things in the future for filmmakers?
Well, I mean, I think down the road, your television, your computer, these mediums are going to be one and the same. I think there's going to be very little differentiation between the two. I'll be the first person to say that today there's not a lot of money to be made by a strict internet play. I think when you couple that with television and a film release, then there's a chance to make some real money. But it's getting there. We're seeing more money get paid to filmmakers for films that are released online. You're seeing a large audience of people. We were part of a film festival that was put on by Hulu and Snag Films last summer, and we put out a film called The Entrepreneur, where in 1 week this film was seen by 135,000 people. That's a huge number of people that watched a movie streaming on the internet. And if you really try and put that in dollar sense of what that means in box office, that's over $1 million. Granted, we didn't see $1 million because it was online, but it's this idea that there are people there. There are people to watch. Now, how do you start to monetize that is the big question.
Is there a possibility that those type of partnerships will go ahead and influence the traditional distribution methods?
I think they've already started to influence it, in a sense that, there's so many outlets out there that they've been able to chop away at the value that you can say if you're just a TV network. I think part of this ubiquitousness of the internet is part of what's taken away some of the value of a TV play for a filmmaker. But, I think that you'll start to see some good reinforcement from both sides. I think that TV is not going anywhere. It is still one of the best places to have something seen by the largest audience possible. I just did a special for Fox on The Simpsons where, this documentary special we made was seen by 13 million people. It's the most people that have ever seen anything I've made in one sitting in one time ever. So there's a tremendous amount of audience in television. So I think if you can find a way to have those two, live in a very copacetic relationship, it'll be good.
Okay, next project.
We just finished working on Freakonomics, which was, it's an adaptation of the New York Times bestseller, came out a few years ago. So the minute I got called to make this project, I was like, sign me up, I'm in. It was a chance for me to be alongside some of my peers that I really respect in the filmmaking community, Eugene Jarecki, Alex Gibney, Heidi Ewing and Rachel Grady, who did Jesus Camp a few years back. These are all people I really admire. So to get to be in that circle it's an honor.
Now, is there a huge difference in the way you would approach that project as opposed to the way you've approached previous projects when they've just been your brainchild?
Well, the biggest one with this is we went in there saying, I'm not going to be on camera. This isn't kind of me telling a story where I'm experiencing something. We were adapting this material in a way that we wanted to be fun and engaging, but didn't have kind of my face driving the narrative. And, I think what we came out with is a really great companion to the book. And I think people are going to dig it. It's good.
Excellent. And next up for you? Because you're always looking at the future projects.
Believe me, we're always working on something. We've got a couple other film projects that we're brewing on. Can't tell you about them, but they're in the works.
Sworn to secrecy.
Sworn to secrecy. Yeah.
It's on a need-to-know basis. He'd have to kill me.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, terrific. Thanks so much, Morgan. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Cool.
I want it my way, Indie Film Nation, going all the way, Indie Film Nation, it's gotta be.